Hello and welcome back to my Dandelion Diaries. A little bit different kind of video today, although still very on trend, I feel like. I have just in front of me some blank copy paper here, my Uni-Style Fit multi-pen, and we're going to talk about 2024 plans for myself. So this is basically going to be like what all I want to make happen for 2024, like what I think I may need a separate book for, how I want to organize myself. So kind of like organizing my plans for 2024. I am going to start out by making a bubble map. So I'm going to put 2024 here in the middle. And this is basically going to be everything that I know I want to keep track of for 2024. So first off, I know I'm going to need some kind of memory planner or memory keeper. Something that I can archive at the end of the year that I can keep on my bookshelf for years to come as kind of like a look back at 2024. I also need to make sure that I have a personal / catch-all planner. And this is basically something that I want to be able to put all of my information into, use day-to-day planning with, task lists, scheduling, anything like that. So memory keeper is mainly for like photos and things that were really important. Catch-all is more of like actual planning purposes. So it needs to be able to encompass a little bit more in terms of what actually is going on planning wise. I also want to continue my health planner. So I know that I talked about not doing that again for 2024, but I feel like the health planner is really something that I've become attached to. It's just really fun to see my own stats in a way. The way I use it is like a tracker kind of situation. So I definitely want to continue that. I also need to continue my garden planner. I've been doing that for I think 2 or 3 years now, and I really enjoy seeing when I plant stuff what the weather's doing and how my garden is thriving or not thriving. So I definitely know I want to have a separate book specifically for all my garden tasks. And then I need to have something for work / I'll say social media, because those are kind of like two in the same in some cases. So I need to have something that can capture both of those things. I also really want to start a gratitude journal, which I've been really iffy on because having a whole book dedicated to gratitude always seemed really daunting, and I usually just do like a sentence of gratitude in my like regular journal. But if I have a bigger space, I will be able to put more things in that I'm grateful for. So we'll see on that one, but I think I want to start one for 2024 just to continue that. I also really want to start a tarot journal. So I've been getting more into my tarot practice between weekly pulls and monthly pulls, and like learning more of the cards and expanding my intuition and things like that. So I want to have something that I can do daily pulls with so I can track things daily. And then I also want to have kind of like an art / ink planner. I know that kind of sounds kind of funny, but I do love my fountain pen inks, and I think it's a really big part of my channel, and I like having a space that I can share swatch pages with you guys and like my currently inked videos and things like that. But I think I want to change it into more of like a planner, and honestly the A6 size is really calling my name with that because it's pretty portable, and my ink archive book is A6, so I could stash them together at some point. So yeah. The other things on here that I probably don't really need a whole book for, or already have a book for, is my 5-year journal that I got from Hobonichi. And then I also have my love letter journal, which I will just continue to use until I run out of pages. And then I also have my reading journal, which I will also continue to use until I run out of pages. So those 3 I'm going to leave separately, but I do still plan on having them kind of in my 2024 lineup. Although they're not really planners, they're just like journals. The 5-year is something that's new to me for 2024, but I really want to kind of use it more for like history and world events, and not necessarily just tracking my life, but also like world life, if that makes sense. I hope that makes sense. Okay, so let's break this down a little bit more. So I know that I have all of these areas of my life that I want to keep track of. If I tried to put all of this into one book, I think I would go mentally insane. I'm a very much separate book type of gal. I love having it all kind of organized in its own space. It's how my brain works. I don't have everything all jumbled in one book. I have to have it separated out. It's just how I am. So, all of this being said, I probably would want a separate book for most of these things. I would want a separate book for my memory keeper that I can archive. So I want this to be sturdy, archivable, and I also want it to be able to hold lots of ephemera. Because if I'm going to be sticking photos and receipts and paper and anything else in there, I need it to be able to chunk really well. Then for my personal catch-all, this needs to have a ton of pages because it's going to be weeklies, dailies, monthlies. And it also needs to be, I'll put that on here, weeklies, dailies. Oops, did not spell that right. Monthlies. And I also need this to be able to kind of be a little bit more of a blank canvas because I can change it into anything I want. For my health planner, I definitely want it to have plenty of tracker pages. I also think the horizontal layout works best for me for my health planner, so horizontal layout is something I will continue because it's just mainly like writing out a little bit every day versus using a vertical tracker, which to me is more of like time blocking, which I think is what's better for this. So I'll put this over here, time blocking. And then other things I know I want to be able to do for my health tracker is keep it really small and portable. Because I feel like if it's too big, it's not going to be something I want to kind of take with me either around my house or if I travel somewhere and I want to keep recording my health data, it needs to be able to be somewhat portable. Then moving on into my garden tracker, this needs to have plenty of notes pages for sure because I ran out of notes pages for my weeks that I did this year. And then it definitely needs to have monthlies and weeklies. I don't necessarily need dailies for my garden planner because I don't really need to make a daily entry or anything like that. It's mainly just organizing myself throughout the week, like when I need to plant stuff or maintain stuff, give my animals vaccinations, things like that. So having plenty of notes pages in the back for, notes on like the vegetables or fruits that I'm growing or notes on the animals, anything like that. And then for the monthlies and weeklies, that's really where I do most of the planning in terms of like when I would plant stuff, when I need to give those shots, like I said, or anything else involving kind of planning around the seasons. I definitely like both of those. And then for work and social media, I may need 2 books for this because I'm trying to balance planning for social media. So like writing down brainstorming ideas, writing down anything I need to schedule out in terms of posting. So that would probably be more of like a monthly thing. Monthlies and weeklies. And then this definitely needs to be monthlies, weeklies, and dailies because my daily work task list changes so much depending on what I'm working on and if I need to like set deadlines for myself. I want to have a specific space that I can just solely focus on, like any kind of design work I have, any kind of selling, international questions I have, which I'm trying to work towards, anything like that. So I want to have a separate book for that. So I think 2 books are probably going to be necessary for work and social media. I also really like to have lots of notes pages with this because I take lots of notes when I'm doing my own research, so that way I can reference it back and don't have to research anything in terms of like business stuff. For my gratitude, this doesn't have to be very big. I really think I want to make this kind of small, something that I can maybe keep by my bedside. So I can just pick it up, write down what I'm grateful for, and acknowledge that positivity in my life. I don't really think this needs to have anything else. It could be pretty plain, or maybe I could repurpose another book for it. If I already have something I'm planning in, maybe just add this to it. It doesn't necessarily have to be a whole separate book, but we'll see. Let me drink some water really quick. Hold on. In terms of tarot practice for 2024, it needs to have monthlies, dailies, and weeklies. I don't know why I wrote that out of order, but it's fine. So all of that to say is because I like to do monthly pulls, weekly pulls, and daily pulls, and I want to have a space for all of that. I also want to be able to have lots of notes again, because I'm taking notes on the cards, how I feel about them, any kind of reference information, just kind of learning more about the practice of tarot, intuition, things like that. So it needs to have lots of notes pages. And then I also want to have space to draw with this, because I think at some point I would want to design maybe my own tarot at some point. So I would want to have enough space to draw out any kind of objects or things I would consider part of the card that I'm looking at. So like the Fool, for example, the traditional Rider-Waite has a picture of a man with his little knapsack and a dog. So maybe I would want to create something similar with maybe a cat or a bird or something else. So I just want to have that ability to draw on it if I want to. So it probably needs to be able to withhold some kind of art medium, whether it be watercolor, colored pencil, crayon, marker, whatever. And then moving on to my art and ink planner, this really just needs to have monthlies, oops, wrong color, monthlies, and then daily space. So I'm not going to challenge myself to draw every single day, but I do want to be able to have a dated section, or maybe I could date it myself to where I could figure out what I want to do with the dailies. If I wanted to do an art challenge for myself where I draw something every single day for a month, or what have you. I mean, I think that's what's going to be best. But it also needs to be able to withhold art mediums, specifically ink. So ink is something that's really challenging to put onto paper because a lot of time it bleeds through to the back, especially if you're piling a lot on one piece of paper. Okay, so I think that's pretty much all of the general consensus of what I need / want to have for 2024. I know this looks like a lot, but now I need to think about what kind of planners I probably would need for this. So I know for a fact that I have already purchased a few planners. So I know for a fact that I have purchased a Hobonichi Han and the A5, so it'd be like cousin layout. I know I have another Hobonichi Han that I ordered and have received in the A6 layout. And then I know I have a Hobonichi Weeks. I also have already showed this on my channel, but I have a Weeks size 520 page notebook / bujo that I set up that I want to use for 2024. I'll try to link that if I remember. And then I know I have ordered an A5 common planner. I also may have ordered some other common planner sizes, so I'm just going to put them down on here, but I'll leave the sizes a mystery for now. So there's that. That leaves me with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 planners that I have in transit. And I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books here. Wonderful, right? Well, actually, okay, 9, because if I do 2 books here. So all of that being said, I need to figure out where I want to put the books that I have purchased and what I want to kind of dedicate those things for, since this is everything that I definitely want to have for 2024. And this is what I've already ordered for 2024. So for my memory keeper, since I know it needs to be archivable and hold lots of ephemera and stuff like that, I think I'm going to stick with my Hobonichi A5 Han, because I've never had any issues with Hobonichis breaking down for me, and I fluff them out quite a bit. So I think I'm going to stick that over here. And the fact that it's hardback, I'm interested to see how it turns out with that. I've talked about this already for my personal catch-all on, I think, a few videos, that I do want to use the A5 Common Planner for this. I think it's going to be the best option in terms of holding everything, because it's 520 pages. I got the full year version. It's going to have goals, monthlies, weeklies, dailies, the whole 9 yards. So it's going to be able to hold everything for me. And I think this is going to be a perfect match here. For my health planner, I don't necessarily want to use another Hobonichi Weeks, because I think I need more notes pages. Either that, or I feel like the creamy paper is not something I want to work with my health planner, just because, I don't know, I want to change it up. So I think I'm going to use another one of the common planners that I ordered for this. And then for my garden planner, I think I want to use another common planner here too, because I want to use the goal sections to help plan out my garden, which I guess is something else I can add on here. Garden goals. And also for health planner, I would love to have health goals, like kind of spelled out. All right. So now we are down the Han, A5, and 2 of the common planners. So now we moved on to work and social media. So I know for work, I want to use my Bujo, because that's what I created it for. I did the layout, how I think it would work best for me in terms of yearly, monthly, weekly, daily, the whole thing. So I think I want to use the Bujo for work. And then I'm thinking I want to continue using a Weeks for the social media. So that's what I've been using. I've been putting both work and social media into my Hobonichi Weeks Yamazakura. This one. But I'm really running out of space in the back. It is getting really fluffy. As you can see, it's chunked out quite a bit. So I need more space, and that's why I think I want to do 2 different books here. But I really like the layout for the weeks in terms of tracking social media. I feel like it has enough room to do what I want with that. So this is going to be my Hobonichi Weeks that I ordered, which is also in the same Tomitaro Makino cover. So I think it's kind of funny that I'm just continuing that trend for this. Okay, so that gets rid of the Hobonichi Weeks in the Bujo. So now I have a Han A6 and a common planner left on here. So, but I have 1, 2, 3 books. I have been tempted to get another book specifically from Magic of I, which is a planner company that I have purchased from this year. They do astrology type stuff. So I could either use that book for my tarot, but it doesn't really give me any pages to draw in, or I could use that book for gratitude because it does have more of a journal type space, and I could leave it pretty plain. I think I would want to use it for gratitude, because I don't necessarily want to use the A6 Han for gratitude, because I think that would be way too much book, like way too much space for the daily pages to do gratitude. I feel like that's really daunting to have a whole piece of paper like this big to have to write out all of the things I'm grateful for. I would feel really pressured to fill the whole space. Versus like if I used a Magic of I, it's like a small paragraph section, which I think I would be much more comfortable with. And then since I can't really draw in the Magic of I, even though the covers of the Magic of I would be perfect for tarot, I think I'm going to leave this for a different book. So yeah, I think I'm going to make this the Magic of I planner, which I will need to pre-order. So It'll probably be the small one though, the pocket size, because I have the A5 size this year and it's a little too much for what I would want to use it for. So I think I'll go with the smaller size for 2024. Now let's move on to tarot here. So I know it needs to have monthlies, dailies, and weeklies. So my options left are Common Planner or Han A6. Well, I know the Han A6 doesn't have weeklies, so that kind of knocks that one out, and it's going to be the last Common Planner that I ordered. Which, honestly, I think that'll work out really perfect, just because it's going to have plenty of notes pages for me to draw and take notes with, and it does have all of these options up here. And I can even reformat some of the other pages to do whatever I want with, which is going to be kind of fun. Lastly then is going to be the A6 Han, which I think is going to work perfectly. I used the wrong color again. I think is going to work perfectly for my art ink journal, because I could use the monthlies for like ink swatching, and then the dailies for either daily art challenges or maybe my currently inked, anything like that. And then it's all in one book versus the book that I have right now, which is this notebook right here. So I have this, and I still have plenty of pages in the back, but I've been using it as these big swatch pages, and I want to be able to continue the big swatches in this, but have more of a, I guess, collection of what I used in 2024 in like a specific 2024 book, versus having to use this, which I have been physically dating for like the month before I use the section. So it's kind of like a bullet journal style ink book, but with the physically dated book, I think it will work a little bit better for what I'm wanting to use it for throughout the year, and also it'll keep everything like within 2024 versus having a book with multiple years in it. I think that's all I'm gonna do for now. Obviously, when I do start setting everything up, I'm still waiting on all of my common planners to be delivered. So once I get those in, I will do an unboxing for you guys, and then also I will start setups, because I know it's only October, but I feel like I'm just ready to set them up. I don't know if that's weird, but I feel ready that I know what I want to use them for. I know how I want to use them. I just need them physically in my hands to kind of finalize any last things. So once I get them, I will go ahead and start setting them up for 2024. Yeah, this is pretty much my plan. And I hope that this was helpful to you if you're struggling to kind of figure out what you want to do for 2024. I do want to say that if you are struggling, it is still October, okay? You still have 3 months left to decide what you want to use for 2024. It doesn't need to be this chaos that it's been, which for me honestly was pretty chaotic in the middle there for a while, just because we have so many options of planners this year. So just find what works for you, and if you try something and you don't like it, then my best advice is to take a notebook and format a layout from the planner you're looking at versus having to buy another book. So I know we all probably have a notebook lying around that's just either junk, scrap, has only a couple pages written in it. Do some test layouts in it and see if you like the format of that planner versus buying the whole book and then realizing you didn't like it in the first place. So that's my best advice when it comes to kind of like planner chaos. Just draw out the layout that you think you would want, or see if you can buy maybe a planner secondhand, if anybody's selling one for a cheaper price than buying a new one. But yeah, hopefully this helps with some planner chaos if you had any. But I want to thank you guys so much for watching and for supporting me here on YouTube and Instagram and with my sticker shop. And I appreciate you all, and I thank you all so much. So I will see you in the next one. Bye.